Thanks, Janu. Well, a new study says the U.S. has the highest divorce rate in the world. And for baby boomers, divorce is on the rise. It's doubled for people over 50 in the last 20 years. In 1990, fewer than 1 in 10 people who divorced were 50 or older. In 2009, that figure rose to 1 in 4. The Bowling Green State University study identified several factors that could explain those rising rates.
They were the first generation to come of age when we saw the rapid acceleration in premarital cohabitation and divorce in the 1970s and early 1980s. And we know that remarriages are more likely to end in divorce than first marriages.
They didn't work it out, I guess. Another factor affecting divorce rates, longer life expectancy. Researchers say more people are now questioning if they really want to spend the rest of their life with their spouse. So, the latest estimate says 50% of those marriages end in divorce in the U.S. So what happens after the papers are signed and the assets divided? Joining us this morning are Bruce and Sue Rosen. They were married for 25 years, and yet, but they spend time together and they care a great deal about each other. So how do two people become a happily divorced couple? Joining us to talk about it, Bruce Rosen, who wrote a book, If You Ever Need Me, I Won't Be Far Away. Thanks for joining us. You're looking very amicable there, sitting together.
Oh,
you know, we know that divorce basically is because two people can't get it together anymore, right? It reaches a stage, things are broken down. So are you really looking at trying to help people save that marriage, or to just face the reality and move on well and happily?
I would say both.
Yeah?
I would say both. I would say we met each other at a young age, fell in love, it felt like it was destiny, had children together. Still love each other, recognize that love continues, fly, right?
Yeah.
recognize that love still continues after the contract ends. We had some difficult moments that we had a hard time overcoming. We tried to communicated the best we could, recognized that we couldn't put it back together in the way that it had been previously, but we could continue loving each other, and that we do.
So, Sue, did you sort of rediscover those values that make a marriage work and put them into a friendship?
Definitely. We've always been friends. We went through a rough patch, but we realized we could come out of it, and I really think it's much better for our sons as well. When they come home for the holidays, we will...
How old are your kids?
25 and 23.
And still at this age, they're going to be impacted by an unhappy divorce, right? They can feel every slugfest that happens if two parents aren't getting along.
Right. But, we do things together as a family, and we even will do things together ourselves, too. We have many interests together.
So did you come up with some rules as you wrote the book, then the two of you talked about it?
Well, the book covers a lot of territory, and certainly my relationship with Sue is a major part of it. I didn't write it specifically about coming up with rules about how to survive the breakup of a marriage, but what I did talk about in the book was how much, really the pain of the separation from somebody you love, and how the mental process and the thinking one goes through, and trying to understand why, and then trying to reconcile, can it be put back together? I think if there's one theme that emerges from the book, it's that try as hard as one can to communicate, to save it, to do all you can, because love is worth saving, marriages are worth saving, and as I say, love continues beyond the contract. But if you can't do it, recognize you can't, continue to move on and let go of regret, because regret is an unhealthy emotion.
And that's what probably keeps you angry at each other past the divorce. And and it strikes me that more and more younger couples these days are deciding to live together and not marry. Are you concerned that there might be actually a shift in societal value about whether or not marriage is even worth it? So what about for your sons, for instance?
I would love to see them getting married and having children, and so I do value marriage, and but if it doesn't work, as he said, hopefully you can keep the friendship going.
Well, you've certainly modeled a good way to have a good relationship outside of a divorce. What do you think?
I think people have more choices these days, and in some sense they don't, because the economic conditions also make it more difficult for people to split up. So I think people are in situations where they have to stay together for economic reasons, but I think also younger people are getting married later. They recognize...
Sorry about that, Bug. He's an uninvited guest this morning.
They recognize that they don't want to make mistakes and that they want to make the best choices. So I believe in marriage, and I think if one can be married and married forever, that's the ideal situation. I want to say one thing, though. I want to say that if it doesn't work out, don't withdraw. Don't withdraw into yourself, because we are social beings, and once you've been part of a family and a marriage, you don't want to become an island. You have to go out there and continue to contribute.
Great. Well, that's the best place to end it then, right at this moment. And the book is called If You Ever Need Me, I Won't Be Far Away by Bruce Rosen. Thank you very much, Bruce and Sue, for joining us. We appreciate you changing with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.